My name is RJ Thompson. I'm a teaching associate professor in digital narrative and interactive design at the University of Pittsburgh. And I'm so excited to share with you this project called the Keywork. So, the Keywork is a really interesting opportunity that I experienced when I was a staff member as the manager of digital strategy for the health science schools at the University of Pittsburgh. And at that time, the health sciences was exploding. We were getting so much money in grant funding, and the faculty were creating these amazing new medical discoveries and technologies and inventions. And so our momentum was growing and it kept gaining and gaining and gaining. And it didn't seem like it was going to stop. Right. So, with that momentum, we had a lot of storytelling to do. We needed to get the word out about the massive dynamic that we had in the health sciences with relation to medical care throughout the planet, right? How do we tell these stories in an effective manner, in an interesting manner? And how do we create stories that convince people, convert them, and get them to believe in who we are, what we're doing, and how we're changing the world? And so when you take those two enterprise level organizations and then add in a massive healthcare provider called University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, you've got to get creative. And so we didn't want to just use AI to solve all of our problems. We recognize the creative capability of every member of our team. We are highly creative. We achieve for the highest quality, but our volume of work is insane, which is typical of staff side positions in higher ed, especially those on the medical side. So our capacity varies. And so we need to use these tools in an optimal manner. Okay. And I will defer you to the classic Ian Malcolm philosophy of just because you can doesn't mean you should. So we wanted to use these tools, but we wanted to use them ethically. We did not want to use them for creativity in the sense of design. All right. We primarily used ChatGPT for analyzing quantitative data. We actually avoided surveys, focus groups, info sessions, design charrettes. We're experiencing this situation where we know who we are, what we do, how we do what we do. Everything is there. So we needed to find appropriate data sets. And the answers for those data sets lie in our history. So we took a step back through the history of the 6 schools of health sciences, and we scraped all of the words, all the quantitative data that we could across 5 years worth of alumni magazines across 6 schools. And through that data, we discovered frequently occurring words and phrases, topics, subjects, people, images, design styles. And so it reinforced that we've always known who we are. We know what stories we want to share, what we can share, what we're capable of sharing. We weren't confident, but after compiling all of this data and processing it, our confidence returned. And so here was the workflow across 5 people and 4 hours. Essentially took 20 hours to do all of this content scraping, putting it in the ChatGPT, and then doing the sentiment discovery and analysis, and then doing the creative development. So I'm going to bounce around here momentarily. So we discovered these were the keywords that were the most frequently occurring across our stories. And thusly, these became the brand pillars: collaboration, innovation, empowerment, commitment, community, and excellence. So now that we knew the brand pillars, we could start to do the design work and create the campaigns. So one thing I was told is that staff side higher ed, they don't really have ideas, which is why they ship campaigns out to agencies. I refuse to believe that. And using this tool allowed us to create 150 different campaign ideas for every single degree. And then we could actually mix and match those to have over 22,500 different ideas. Never again will someone tell me or my team at the time that we didn't have any ideas. And so this is the key work. We take one adjective plus another adjective equals another, and we can mix these up to create a variety of different ideas. This is the Keywork story formula. Over 22,000 unique and evergreen ideas that we could apply for years to come. So taking that one step further, these are the parts to the whole. Immersive investment and analysis of brand data, plus informed and quick conceptual development, plus captivating visual aesthetics with variety and depth creates perpetual, original, creative, and fresh storytelling. All of these ideas that you've seen here on the right side, all of these designs I created by hand, by my own mind, across a 40-hour period using this formula. And this design here, what I needed to discover, was actually published in GDUSA magazine in one of their competitions. So there's the proof. This can work for you. Thank you very much.